What if I told you that the most dangerous enemy that the shinobi world has ever faced has only just begun to start showing a glimpse of his true power? Jura isn't just another villain. He isn't just another Ten Tails experiment gone wrong in the Naruto franchise. No, Jura is the perfect storm of what the Boruto and just the Naruto series in general has been building towards. And the terrifying part, what we've seen so far is Jura literally playing around. He has not shown his full power just yet. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video where your OBC, your original Boruto chief, is going to break down to you why Jura might be even stronger than we originally thought, why his hidden potential might arguably place him above Isshiki Otsutsuki, and why narratively it makes perfect sense for him to be built up as this massive wall that Boruto and Kawaki have to overcome. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to check out the new Dandadan and Sakamoto Days videos on my Anime Explained channel, which I'll leave linked in the end credits and the description box. Those videos should answer a lot of questions if you're fans of those series or you're curious about this series in general and want to see what all the hype is about. Those are videos safe for anime only fans of those series or people who have not gotten into them. So let's first just get right into it. Jura's first true real display of power. In order to do that, we have to look at what we know. Jura faced Boruto, and from the very beginning, he wasn't fighting seriously. That much was made clear. Jura has Isshiki's tendency to play and fight down to the level he is facing somebody at. If he's fighting someone who is a 3 on a scale from 1 to 10, he's going to fight them on the scale of a 3.5 to maybe a 4. It's the Son Goku syndrome, something that Ikimoto is an avid Dragon Ball fan. As much as people hate for me to reference Dragon Ball, Ikimoto patterns his fights in Boruto after how Toriyama does his fights in Dragon Ball. Read the manga, ignore the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z anime. So I say that to say this. Jura's never fought seriously. Boruto, whose base power level we've already been able to establish is well above Jigen. That video will be linked in the description box. Not going over Boruto scaling in this video, already did it in depth, but he managed to cut Jura's leg off. But instead of being weakened, Jura, he escalated. He got annoyed basically. His aura shifted. His intensity, it went up another notch. And within a few hits, he knocked Boruto unconscious, showing that he could have done so at any point prior to that. Think about this for a second. Boruto, who has been trained by Kashin Koji, who has 10 directions, is able to cut through a lot of the fat in training that would exist for Boruto had he trained on his own. Because when you're dealing with a threat as monstrous as Jura, time is really of the essence. You don't have the luxury to go through years of stumbling and bumbling. With so much time running out, there aren't many options left to run through various scenarios on how to take down Jura. Like, what if this happened or what if that happened? It makes having a tool like 10 directions, while it is pretty handy, it has limitations. And so you got to start looking for other ways to game plan. Other what if scenarios need to be made possible to you, which means having a tool like, say, Voice Me at your disposal, which also happens to be the sponsor of today's video. So watch until the end of the integration for your chance to win a $100 Amazon, Steam, or Crunchyroll gift card. So this video is going to be sponsored by FableVerse, a free platform on Voice Me where you can chat with your favorite anime and manga characters, rewrite canon events and what if stories, and play RPG adventures with your own character. It's your story, your world. On the homepage, you'll find fables, interactive stories where you can jump into them instantly, from epic adventures like Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Goku, Luffy, Gojo, and so many more, to what if twists like what if Minato never died. You get to choose your own path, make your own decisions, and rewrite canon of your favorite anime franchises. There's something for every anime fan. Action, romance, humor, and more. You can even dive into a Naruto clan war story where you pick your own clan. Plus, with the C feature, you can generate stunning anime style visuals that bring your story to life. And just to be blunt, you're gonna spend hours using FableVerse. Like, for instance, I decided to use FableVerse in order to rizz up Boruto era Sakura, because why not? Sasuke stuck in a tree bird watching somewhere, so I quickly hit that start story button. I pretended to be sick and I hit her with that Riz no Jutsu. Had her head spinning a little bit and made her forget that she was married in the first place. I strongly recommend heading to the website to use it, and here's the best part. FableVerse is hosting an exciting limited time giveaway. Simply start a story and send at least one message in Fable chat for a chance to win one of 5 $100 gift cards. Just make sure you're logged in so your entry counts. But the real fun is diving into the Fables and creating your own story. Send as many messages as you want and have fun. Don't miss this new way to interact with your favorite anime and manga characters. The link is in the description box. As I told a patron in the Patreon Discord server, it's a lot easier to have someone teach you to use jutsu and teach you different training methods than for you to go through trial and error yourself to make brand new jutsu or come up with new training methods yourself to grow stronger. Despite Boruto being able to level up like this and get this powerful, he was swatted aside like a child. Jura wasn't even using his full arsenal. He was literally taking the time to test out shooting new types of Bijudama sizes and etc. at Boruto. He was having fun with them. Once he said, wait, this kid cut my leg off, he proceeded to smack him around and he was going to kill him until Kawaki showed up. That battle ended with Jura poised to undeniably kill Boruto. I don't care that Boruto wasn't using karma, he can't control karma. That's why he never used it in the fight. That's why he's going to Momoshiki saying, we need to cooperate, I need your power. The only reason why he survived is Kawaki, he arrived. And Boruto himself realized something critical after seeing Kawaki couldn't do what he wanted to do, which is Kawaki was right. Their combined power was not enough to take down Jura. Boruto knew my power ain't enough. Kawaki's power ain't enough. The two of us working together isn't enough. To even stand a chance, Boruto would have to go to Momoshiki, make a deal with the devil, and stack Momoshiki's power on top of his own. That is an insane narrative benchmark when you think about it, because if Boruto alone, who surpassed Jigen, needs to have Momoshiki's full power added on top of it to just maybe be able to compete, that means that Jura exists already in a realm above potentially Isshiki. Because think about it for a second. Isshiki is stronger than Jigen. That same Jigen was able to beat Naruto and Sasuke simultaneously in 5 collective hits. The fact that Jura might be able to fight off 2 beyond Jigen level fighters, even if you say Kawaki only has 80% of Isshiki's attack power, 80% of Isshiki with somebody that is above Jigen, who also has Momoshiki's power additionally stacked on top of that. Jura being able to defeat both of them or fight them at a relative level means that he has to, at the bare minimum, be stronger than Isshiki. That remains to be seen, because we have to see Boruto using Momoshiki's power on top of his own, fighting alongside Kawaki. But the way the narrative is setting this up, it is strongly implying that Jura would still be able to defeat them. Again, if Kawaki could have killed Jura, he would have done so. And that brings me to the Kawaki and Jura clash, because there's a lot there. Kawaki was frustrated when you read the chapter closely. Kawaki stepped up and we saw Jura's dominance become undeniable. But you might go, hey fam, wait a second. Kawaki was the one that was doing all those crazy things, shooting chakra blasts outside his chakra rod, shooting chakra blasts outside his arm. It looked like Kawaki was in control. Kawaki, he did fight with everything he had. He was channeling the power of karma. He was channeling Isshiki's attack power. And yet, despite all of that, he could not win. That battle ended with Jura saying, hey fam, I got this book. I'm trying to read this shit right now. I ain't really trying to throw hands with you like that, fam. We just need to talk. And he proceeds to build a throne and start interrogating Kawaki. He looked calm. He even cracks what appears to be a smirk at one point when talking. He did not seem fazed by Kawaki in that moment. Kawaki himself says, next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you. That's Kawaki's bravado and bluster. Again, why wait until next time? He could have killed him if he was strong enough. Fact of the matter is that he wasn't. That level of disrespect that we're talking about, Jura, he didn't just defeat his opponent because he took his best shots and Kawaki was not able to put him down. He was toying with him. Now, to be fair, to play devil's advocate, Kawaki did not unleash his version 2 karma. That's the horned form that we saw both he used twice in Boruto Part 1 and Jigen used. That power gives a monster power up. But here's a key detail. We've never seen Kawaki go into it at his own in his will. Each time that he transformed into it, he was emotionally charged. That was not something that he summoned at will. That's not like what we saw with Jigen, where Jigen fought Naruto and Sasuke, was just using the basic Karma Amp, and Naruto and Sasuke were somewhat relative to that portion of Jigen. Once Jigen went into the horn form, it was good night. But Jigen went into that form calm. Kawaki's never been able to do that. I do think that eventually, the way that the narrative is setting this up, Boruto's gonna get Momoshiki's power. He's gonna be able to go into that horn form that so far only Momoshiki was able to use. And I think the same thing's gonna happen with Kawaki. That feels like it's inevitable, and just from a writing perspective, that is inevitable. However, here's the thing. Say if Kawaki went full force and used that, there's really no guarantee that he could have defeated Jura here. Because again, just as we've never seen Kawaki use that horn form, now that he has Isshiki's attack power in his arsenal, we've also never seen Jura use his full power. He fights down to the level of people he's fighting with. He just fights a little bit higher, or in this case, it was a showcase of durability, it's mind game, which goes back to something I said before. If you've read Dragon Ball, which again, I know that pisses people off, I'm gonna restate. Once you understand where Ikimoto gets this inspiration from and where he panels a lot of his stuff for Boruto fights from, Jura's written a lot like Cell from Dragon Ball. He is fighting down to the level, and he is even allowing his enemy to go through their moves and get in their best shots because it's part of the mind games. Now, there's a narrative logic here behind Jura's power. You might be asking, why is Jura this strong? Why is the bar set so ridiculously high when Boruto and Kawaki are already incredibly powerful? Why does Jura feel like he is just this much higher? The same reason why Isshiki felt like he was just that much higher than Naruto and Sasuke. They had just gotten their asses whooped by Jigen, and then 3 days later, Isshiki's there. Isshiki's even stronger than Jigen. You'll have some disingenuous scaling when people go, oh my god, you know, Jigen defeated Naruto's Kurama avatar with an uppercut, and he destroyed Sasuke's perfect Susanoo with a kick. So are you trying to tell me that Sasuke in his base has durability that is on par with his perfect Susanoo? Still see people make that argument, and it goes back to, again, Isshiki's playing around. He's stronger, but he's clearly not using that same level of force when he's toying around with Naruto and Sasuke in the manga chapter when they fight at the end of volume 12 of the manga. I say that to say this, it's the same thing here with Jura. He's being built up in that same way. He's strong, he knows he's stronger than everybody, he's playing around, and it makes sense just given what he's made up from. He's got some of Code in him, he's got some of Isshiki in him. Two people that play around with their prey. Now, from a strictly craft perspective, the answer to why you write Jura in this way is the concept of delayed payoff. In storytelling, especially in long-running series like Boruto, the most satisfying victories come after an overwhelming struggle. To use the Dragon Ball example, there's a reason why Frieza needed so long to be taken down. The same thing with Cell, the same thing with Majin Buu, the same thing even with King Piccolo. Delayed payoff. Think about from the perspective of what you saw in Boruto. The reason why Isshiki and Jigen going down the way that they did was because we had lived with these characters for a while. They weren't just villain of the week. Even in Naruto, it felt so rewarding to have Pain finally taken down because it was a delayed payoff. It does not hit the same if, say, Naruto had learned Sage Mode and then Pain pulls up at Mount Miyaboku and Naruto defeats him right there on the spot. It does not hit the same. You gotta let things marinate a little bit. If Jura were only slightly stronger than Boruto and Kawaki, then their growth and their eventual win, it would feel predictable. It would feel underwhelming. As it is right now, you know that they're eventually going to overcome Jura, but you don't know how. If the bar between them was closer, you could just automatically say, okay, they're gonna win, maybe they get the right matchup breaker, etc. With this, you have no idea. It's the same benefit that we had with the Isshiki stuff. Nobody knew because Isshiki was just that much of a menace. Well, the reason why that applies here is that by making Jura this vastly powerful, it feels like a wall that is impossible to overcome. The series, it is creating suspense and anticipation. Every fight, every power-up, every strategic alliance, every carefully crafted plan, it suddenly matters because the stakes are so much higher. When Jura is finally defeated, the payoff will hit that much harder because we as the audience, we feel the weight of everything it took to get to this moment. And it'll be even better if some characters take losses along the way. Not necessarily saying they have to die, but they take losses along the way. In terms of why it makes sense for Jura to be a powerhouse, here's the thing. Jura being this strong, it isn't simply for the sake of hype. It makes perfect sense when you look at what he's made up of. Jura is the Ten Tails given human form and ego. That already puts him on a different level than what you saw with a prior Ten Tails, but that does not stop there. His body contains fragments of Isshiki's essence via Code's Coma Seal, meaning he has essence from the strongest pure-blooded Otsutsuki we saw prior to this, not counting Shibai, because Shibai is somebody we haven't necessarily seen in the manga. We saw his silhouette and etc. through Amado's monologue, but in proper canon, we haven't truly been introduced to Shibai. We just know about his feats. Then you have the Shibai Otsutsuki DNA that has a god tier being who has transcended mortality itself, and he is a character that we have feats for via the statements, but we've also seen with just fragments of his power was able to do for people like Damon, Ada, Code, and etc. Just a sliver of that power, it is game changing. Jura has those Shibai cells because he has some of Code's DNA in him, and on top of that, Jura also has the benefit of Code's chakra, meaning that that's another power source that went into making him that makes him uniquely dangerous. When you take all that, it's the same concept of why a Jinchuriki that can fully use the power of their Biju is stronger than the Biju being in the wild in of itself. That power in a human form, in this case a humanoid form, becomes exponentially stronger. To put this all together, it's the Ten Tails, it's Isshiki, it's Shibai, it's Code's chakra. And when you get a monster who is stronger than anyone else in the series like that, and he also has the intelligence, this makes him a being that it makes sense for him to outclass Kawaki, humiliate Boruto, and also have that godlike composure and arrogance that we saw. This also kind of goes into Kashin Koji's very careful planning. This is why Kashin Koji has had to move so carefully. Koji understands that a direct assault on Jura, it is suicide. He flat out says, nobody fight this guy head up or else everybody dies. He's seen the scale of Jura's power firsthand through all these multiple timelines, and he knows the only path forward is meticulous planning, setting the stage for Boruto, and now because Boruto's changed the timeline, arguably Kawaki helping to eventually face him at their peak to take him down. It's not cowardice, it's strategy, and it is something befitting of somebody that is a shinobi, because in the Naruto universe, the strongest does not win every fight. When the enemy is basically a god in human form, reckless action isn't bravery, it's a death wish. So when you look at everything, the ease at which he destroyed Boruto, the way that he humbled Kawaki, to the point Kawaki has to flip the guy off because he's like, I can't kill this guy, so F you. The narrative needed a wall that feels insufferable, insurmountable, and that insane cocktail of powers that is inside of him. It becomes clear. Jura isn't just strong, he is a monster designed to be the ultimate challenge. A godlike force standing between our heroes and their future. And the scariest part of it all, we haven't seen his true power yet, and we probably won't until Boruto and Kawaki progress to a certain level. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, clicking here on the left to check out this Naruto Explained video, or click here on the right to check out videos from other two anime channels where I talk about non-Naruto content.